We are. Hello, and welcome again to another live of Class and Sense. I'm your boy Rob, and wherever you are, make sure that, well, sorry, I hope that you're having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'm your boy Rob, and this is the Class and Sense channel. Please like and subscribe as we grow this community. And with that being said, today I am going to touch on the topic of sprays. Where should you spray? How many sprays should you spray when it comes to a particular cologne or perfume? And you might be shocked what I have to say, though. Uh, you'll be like, it's really not shocking. So, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. And the first thing is, when you are wearing a cologne, a lot of people, or I don't want to say a lot of people, some people will go by the, okay, I'm going to spray specific spots. So for instance, they're going to spray each side of their neck, maybe the back, maybe their collar, and you know what? Maybe I'll spray the wrists, maybe even dab the hair a little bit. Now, from someone who's had or who has over 100 colognes, has smelled everything from the strong colognes to the overwhelming colognes to the light ones, what do I recommend? I recommend that you spray depending on the cologne. I'm going to say that one more time. You spray depending on the cologne. Hold on, y'all. There we go. Go get a little air in here. One of the main reasons why you don't just spray, you just stay with the regular spray routine, but you go by the cologne or the scent is because every cologne is different. And that means that every, basically, you don't want to stick to a certain regimen where, on a regular cologne would be right, but for a cologne that is very strong and heavy, two sprays would have been fine, but four sprays is overkill. And what ends up happening is you smell good, but you smell overbearing, right? And what ends up happening is even if you smell good, nobody wants to smell you across the table. Nobody wants to smell, don't nobody wants to feel like that cologne is in your face. Okay. And that's one of the real, it, it can make anybody, woman or man. One, it's a turn off. Two, it's actually very uncomfortable. And that's the main point. That is very uncomfortable, especially if you're in an elevator or you're in a workspace, you're working closely with somebody and they're trying or they want to work, but your cologne or your perfume is so strong that it's almost overbearing, right? And you don't know if that person, maybe they have a sensitive nose, so that's probably going to make them sneeze. It's going to make them very uncomfortable. So you might be asking, Rob, how do I combat this? What do I do to avoid this? Well, the first thing is watch videos like this. No, but in all seriousness, the first thing that you want to do is, and this is why you watch these videos, forget, once you buy the cologne or perfume, forget what people say about it, forget what it says on the fancy cover, forget what it says as far as the notes and it smells good and everyone loves it. Throw that out. Okay? Throw it out. Because nobody cares how good a cologne smells if you're overbearing or if your cologne is all in their face. They can't enjoy it. So, the first thing that I always recommend to people, especially when you're just starting off with a cologne, is one, you look at the notes, but two, you start light. And what I mean by start light is you do 2 to 3 sprays. Regardless of the cologne, regardless of the time of year, you do 2 or 3 sprays. No more than 3. Okay? Now, why do you do this? You do this, one, because you want to see how the cologne or perfume reacts to your body chemistry. Okay? Most colognes are going or perfumes are gonna react just how they're supposed to, and they're gonna smell like they're supposed to, like a Dolce Gabbana, like a Blue Day Chanel. They're gonna smell exactly how they're supposed to. But that's not always the case. So when you buy it, you want to make sure that first, when I spray it on, it smells, it's smelling the way it wants to smell. So 2 to 3 sprays. That's one. 2, know where to wear the cologne. Know where to wear the cologne. A little bit of a tongue twister, but hear me out. Okay. I've said on previous lives and in previous videos that I've done that certain colognes are great. They're clean, they're good for the office, they're all around, yada, yada, yada. Right. But this is important because if you wear a great smelling cologne, but it's a winter cologne and you wear it right now in the summertime, it's not going to smell too good. It's going to smell too overbearing. And you're going to be that person in the elevator that everyone can smell. And it's not going to be a good smell. We call that in the fragrance community cloning. Okay. So when you look or you are first, before you're about to buy the fragrance, look at the notes. And I made a live about this before. And look at the notes and see what are the main notes when it comes to the top, the middle, and the base. Now, not all the time, but it'll give you a good sense of when to wear this cologne. So, for instance, a cologne that has cinnamon and incense in it is more likely going to be for the wintertime or fall. Whereas a cologne that has bergamot, white musk, blue notes such as that, lavender, it's probably going to be for the hotter months, spring and summer. Okay. So, know where to wear your cologne. Third, when spraying, okay, everyone mixes it up, and I would actually say that you can mix it up as well. When we say hit your androgynous zones or your heat zones, that's where you hit the neck. So behind the ear, 1, 2. You can even do the back of the neck as well. Your inner elbows. So you can see your inner elbow right here and your wrists. Now, why are these zones some of the ones that you're going to constantly hear as far as where you should spray? Because that's where, when you get hot, those are going to heat up first. They're going to heat up the fastest. So when you spray here, when you spray your colognes in those areas, regardless of whether it's wintertime, summertime, walking around, these areas are going to heat up faster than others, which is going to make the cologne spread out more or push out more. Okay. So that's why we say when you're spraying your colognes in your androgynous zones, those are the zones that you want to hit if you're putting on skin, because you put them in these hot areas on your body, you are more likely to get that projection because the oil is heating up, and it's going to project even more. Okay. Now, is this 100% all the time? No. Let me say that again. Is this 100% all the time? No. Rob, should I always spray in these zones? No, because as much as you can spray these colognes in these zones to have them really radiate, right? Again, it's all about skin chemistry. And let's say you don't know how it's going to react with skin. A very safe option is spray your collar. A jab here, a jab here. And if you're wearing long sleeves on your wrists, a jab on the tip of the sleeve there, a jab on the tip of the sleeve there. And you can know that regardless of the skin chemistry, regardless of whether the cologne reacts with you well or not, if you spray it on your clothes, you're going to get the scent that was intended. So that's a very safe option. However, everybody doesn't like spraying cologne on their clothes. So to wrap up, or my final recommendations when it comes to where you should spray, when not to spray. If you've heard nothing of what I've said, hear this. Know your cologne. Do not just spray because it's a great cologne. Do not just spray behind the ears, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you don't know your cologne like that. Start off slow. If it's a great cologne, 3 sprays are all you need for you to know how good it is. Once you know how good it is, okay, you want to do 5 sprays? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, the hair can be a spot where you spray. One, because the hair follicles hold the cologne or perfume longer. So it's a nice little tactic that you can use when you are really trying to smell good, but you're trying to keep that scent longer. What we call a sillage. That sillage that happens when we call it a scent bubble in the fragrance community. When you're walking around, you have a nice cologne scent on, and people can smell you. But it's not like your scent is pushing out all throughout the room. It's just it's moving with you. So when you walk past somebody, you're leaving that nice trail, that nice scent, like, oh, that smells amazing. Oh, excuse me. And someone stops you and says, excuse me, what are you wearing? It's not because your cologne grabbed them all the way across the hall or grabbed them all the way across the room. No, it's just when you're walking around, you spray these zones, you spray your hair, or you spray your collar. We call it a scent trail or a scent bubble. And depending on the projection of the cologne, that scent bubble can be very small. So whether a term you're going to hear a lot or me say a lot is within an arm's length, or that scent bubble maybe even longer. Here's a good example. Blue Day Chanel, Creed Aventus, scent bubble more than an arm's length. But other colognes are closer. But how do you know? Again, you start slow, you start small, and then you work your way up. So again, my recommendation when it comes to how many sprays you should spray, regardless if you know it's good or not, is always 3. Where to spray? 1, 2, 3. And if you're uncomfortable spraying it on your skin, one side of the collar, two side of the collar, and the back of the collar. Or let's say that you want to keep it a 3, but you want it to have as much of a bubble as you can. Okay. 1, 2, and 1 on the wrist. Could you do both wrists and 2 here? You could. I don't recommend it, especially if it's a new cologne. Work your way up to it. And if it's good, you'll find out very quickly that you don't have to spray that much for people to smell you. And if you are spraying too much because you don't know if people can smell you or not, it's probably not a good thing. Okay. Now, with that being said, Again, keep following our channel for reviews like this. And also keep in mind that with this channel, along with my Instagram page, Brunching with Bobby, I'm going to be doing a lot more as far as when it comes to not just fragrances, but also where you actually can wear these fragrances, where you're at a brunch, you're on a date, gala, etc. And actually, this coming weekend, check out my channel because I'm going to be telling you what I'm going to be wearing at certain events this weekend. So, again, all of this will be in the description. Come check us out. But don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, if you have any questions or if there's anything that I said that you were confused about, beat it up in the comments. Let me know. Tell me what you think. And don't worry, we are very soon working on just a link tree where my subscribers and I can interact even more. And you can actually reach out to me directly with your questions. Let's say you're looking to buy your son some cologne, whether they're in high school, college, or they're younger, and you don't know which one to get, I got you. Or you're older, you're going on a date with your wife, you want to try something new, but to impress her, I got you. Or you're like, you know what, I had all these colognes, but I don't want to smell like everybody else. I want to smell unique, but I want to smell amazing. I got you. So, with that being said, thank you again for coming out. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, see you later.